Uric Classic Whole Body Tonic is a dietary supplement, not a drug. Therefore, it is useful to affect the structure and/or function of your body in various ways, but it is not intended to and will not cure, mitigate, treat, or prevent any disease. Individual testimonials may not be everyone's experience and do not constitute scientific evidence. Uric Corporation does not make any drug or treatment claims for its product.
And another good evening to everybody. Welcome to the Uric Worldwide Health Call. This is the home of health, folks, and we have been doing that since 1943 when my father first introduced his wonderful preparation commercially. He had been giving it away for many years, making little batches, perfecting his formula and passing it around to see how it worked. And by 1943, well, it was too big of an expense and he had to start charging a little bit for it. And it just took off. And by 1945, he had to form a company. And there he was in the business of saving lives. And we have been saving lives ever since. We happen to have a guest on the call tonight who is going to really wow you with his story. But one thing that was really outstanding for me, and it was only recently that I really realized that he said to somebody, he said, this tonic saved his life. And boy, oh boy, if we can save a life, wow, what could there be better in the world than saving a life? And when I look back and I think of all the people that shared this with so many tens of thousands, they actually saved lives. And I personally have spoken to many, many people who were right on the edge. They were ready for the pine box. There was no return. They were on the road to nowhere. Everything was getting worse and worse. All the medications, nothing worked. The operations, whatever, they were going down and down and down. And when they started using the JC Tonic, they had a remarkable, miraculous turnaround. And a lot of people got completely better again. A lot of people got 50%, 20%, 80%. I mean, talk about a change in a person's life. First of all, it saved it. And then second of all, it gave them a quality of life for the duration. So if you get on this tonic, no matter what your health issue is today, it doesn't matter. It's going to improve it. And we, as you heard in our disclaimer, claim nothing. Actually, we actually should say this is not a cure. Everybody's out there with saying they have a cure, this, that, the other thing, and get rid of it. We say the exact opposite. This is not a cure. This works through largely the purification, detoxification, and oxygenation of the blood. When you clean up the blood supply, look, you don't have to be a physicist or a scientist or a biochemist. The blood is the lifeline, period. That's the deal. Everything comes through the blood, goes through the blood. The blood is what delivers the oxygen. The blood is what delivers the nutritive values. The blood is what delivers the hormones. And if the blood is impure, clogged up, full of junk and gunk, and I've seen some live blood tests, folks, the blood hardly moves. When it's still alive, they withdraw it and put it under a microscope, an electronic microscope. It's hardly moving. When they did mine, it was racing so fast, the technician said, I have to wait 15, 20 minutes for your blood to die a little bit. So that's the difference if you have good, clean blood, and you probably don't have to worry about anything because it's going to do the job. Sure, you have to eat properly. You have to do a little exercise. You have to get a good night's sleep, of course. But largely, if you maintain good, clean blood, you are going to have a great, long, healthful life. And the folks that, when you're out there getting your blood withdrawn, take a picture of it. The darker it is, the dirtier it is. That means the more junk. And if there's so much junk that, for example, it can't deliver the hormones correctly or on time or the whole amount that it's supposed to, then the organ and the gland and the system where it's going suffers. And then that's another problem that starts to develop. The organ starts to fail because it can't do its job properly. So some places in the body are not getting enough oxygen, some are not getting the hormones, some are not getting the nutrients. A lot of places in the body are collecting junk and garbage, and the blood is unable to pull it out. And so little by little it breaks down, just like a car when you don't do any maintenance. And so tonight we have a guest who has a really remarkable story. I met him, at least 18, almost 20 years ago. And he told me at the time that somebody introduced him to it, and he didn't believe it. Of course, there are a lot of doubting Thomases and doubting Thomasinas, and it's, I guess, to be expected because we're taught that the doctors are God and whatever they say is good. They do their very best, that I know. But unfortunately, I think we went down somewhat of a wrong path, at least a crooked path, when it comes to practicing medicine, especially in this country and many others, but really in this country. And sometimes it's really a simple matter. And I've seen people who have suffered for 15, 20 years of a variety of health issues that on 2-3 months of the tonic, they're already turning around. Sure, some take a year, some take 6 months. It all depends. But you need that first bottle. All you folks for the very first time on the call, get with the person that invited you. Get yourself your first bottle. I'll put my arm in fire. There is nobody that is not going to feel some kind of positive benefit within the first bottle. On the first ounce, the 5th ounce, the 24th ounce, I don't know. We're all the same, but we're all different. So what's ailing you? It's in a degree to the same thing that's ailing someone else. So there's a lot of factors that come into play that we're not aware of. All we know is if you take this tonic, it starts to do that job on the blood. It acts as a catalyst. And of course, it does many more things. It balances the systems. It has these wonderful tonic herbs that are great balancers. It has an electromagnetic force that addresses the meridians and straightens them out and aligns them. It has an alkalinity that starts to deacidify your body. So you've got a 5-punch, if I can say, with everything that's going on. And between all of that, when it makes those corrections in the body, you will have a better functioning body. And when that happens, doesn't matter what age you are, you're going to start to look and feel younger. And don't take my word for it. Go online, read our emails, look at the before and after pictures. Some are, people think we use central casting. I mean, they are so different, you can't believe it's the same person. And yet, the only difference in their life was the tonic. And so, I want to introduce our wonderful friend and my friend that's become a friend of mine over all these years. And he is a veritable Johnny Appleseed, or should we say a Johnny Tonic Seed, because he has shared more bottles and given more bottles free of charge to people who are suffering. Talk about a guy who paid it forward. He pays it forward every single day, and he's still doing it. So on that note, I don't want him to get too big of a head. Cecil, where are you?
Too late. I already got a big head.
Tell the folks what you know.
I know a lot. Well, I was sick from age 33 to 43. 10 years. I've had 2 back surgeries, hip replacement, arthritis in the back, cholesterol shot. And I run a restaurant. My parents had it, and I took it over. Well, running a restaurant, you're on your feet, working all the time. And, my health just started deteriorating towards getting depression because I couldn't sleep, Doctors, I wouldn't take any pain medicine. I don't take any drugs from them. I just know that's not going to work. Well, there's a lady that's been drinking the juice now. Her name's Esther Franco, and I'm from Robstown, Texas. She is a very healthy person. She came in the restaurant. I've known her all my life. Her kids work with me, wait tables, going through high school and college. And what she does, she cleans buildings, houses, whatever you want. And she is solid. And she's She's probably not even 5'4". And she brought the bottle into my restaurant, and I thought it was oven cleaner. I don't know what that was. And I said, what you got, oven cleaner? She said, no, it's whole body tonic. I said, oh, whole body tonic. What does that do? She said, well, it does everything. I was like, oh, here we go. The hardest thing is to convince somebody something works. That's the hardest thing to do for this. So she knows I'm sick because her kids work for me, and she said, well, tell me what's really wrong with you. And I don't usually discuss that, but I said, okay, Esther, I'll play the game with you. You got the whole body tonic. I said, my cholesterol's at 247, and my doctor tried to give me Lipitor on my last visit to him. He said, you take a pill twice a day, come back in 5 or 6 weeks, and we'll check your blood again. And I said, wow, I didn't know my cholesterol go down that fast. He said, no, I want to check your liver. I said, well, hell, what's wrong with my liver? He said, nothing, but this could damage your liver. And I said, why in the hell do I want to take that? I called him Dr. Frankenstein. I said, nah, I'm not taking that. There's no way. And we got a little shouting match. Anyway, I told her, she said, that's going to go away. I said, okay, you're 1 for 1. What else wrong with you? I said, well, my joints are killing me. I'm in pain all day long. I can't sleep. She said, that'll all go away. And I said, oh, 2 for 2. Okay, this is working pretty good. What else wrong with you? I said, well, I have depression. I can't sleep. I can't, it lasts a month. It might last 2 weeks. It might last 2 months. I can't shake it. She said, that'll go away. Well, in a very nice way, I kicked her out of my building and told her to take that bottle and don't ever come back in here with that. It's the craziest thing I ever heard. So about 2-3 months later, I run into a lady in HCB after church at the grocery store, and her name is Carmen. Well, Carmen's been eating with us for 45, 50 years, and I could tell she lost weight. She looked different, felt good. And I told her, I said, ooh, Carmen, you look good, girl. Man, you got a boyfriend or what? She turned around, started dancing right there in HEB. And she goes, I'm on the juice. And I said, oh, the juice, huh? Well, what juice? She said, the one that Esther tried to say. Now, she had high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes. Her heart was out of rhythm, everything. She said, I've been drinking this for 9 months, and the doctors about got me off all my 5 medications. So being sick as I was, I tried to go to a witch doctor, which looks in your eyes, gives you all these vitamins. I went to acupuncture. When you're sick and you're hurt and you're looking. So she told me, just like Anthony did, what does one bottle hurt? I said, well, nothing. I was looking for something. This is hard to believe. Well, my best friend is Jim Cave, and I told him about it. He has a deal under his spinal cord. I forgot what you call it, but there's no surgery for it. You can't do it. He's in pain, too. So I said, let me try it first. And he told me, you'd be the guinea pig. Well, I drank it for 1 week and called Jim, and he said, well, how you feeling? I said, well, I don't know if this is really physical or mental, but I'm different, but let's go 1 more week. Well, for a guy that couldn't get to work at 6 in the morning, I couldn't work past 2 o'clock. I'd be home laying on the floor watching TV. After the second week I took it, I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning, going to work, working all day, come home, I'm looking for something to do. I mean, this stuff I couldn't believe it. So he got on it. Well, after 2 weeks, I did the same thing to him. So being in the restaurant business, we were looking for another guinea pig. Well, I run into another guy. We waited a little while, about 2 months, 3 months, a guy named Bobby Moore. He sells Corvettes in Corpus. And I was at a cater, and he saw me. He said, damn, you look good, dude. You lost weight. Ken, you got to pay. I said, dude, we're drinking this stuff, JC Tonic. And I said, man, it's good. He said, well, man, I'm a bad diabetic. I said, you are? What's your number? He said, well, around 600 and something. I went, dude, you got a chance for a stroke. He goes, hell, I know it. And I said, this stuff would work on that? And I said, well, they say it does. I mean, it's just me and Jim. Well, he got on it with 2 bottles, and he went from 6-something down to 160 within about 4 weeks. And that's when we knew that this stuff works. So me and Jim started telling people. And after I drank it 6 months, I told Jim, there's got to be something illegal in here. We didn't check this bottle out. Instead of taking it to a doctor, which my doctor doesn't believe in this stuff, I took it to my pharmacist, Glenn Shannon in Rocktown. He owns City Drugs. I told Glenn, you got to look at this bottle. You got to tell me if there's something illegal, or give you a heart attack, a stroke, cancer. I don't know. We're telling people. And I told him everything that was wrong with me. And He said, I'll give you an hour of my time. I want to see this bottle. He said, yeah, my cholesterol is 247, and within 3.5 months, go back to the doctor taking it, I'm at 125. I said, my joints don't hurt no more. I said, I got this energy, no more depression. I said, man, I feel like I'm 25 again. So I took it to him, and like Anthony said, these doctors, they don't do like they used to do. They're making money off of everything you're getting. They mainly maintain you. They don't cure you anything. They try to maintain you. And once they hurt your body in one part, they're going to give you a pill for another one. Pretty soon you'll be on 5 or 6 pills. So anyway, he looked at the bottle. He's the expert. And when he looked at that bottle, he stopped and called his assistant. He said, man, Roy, you need to look at this stuff. So they did their little shop talk. He said, okay, nothing illegal, nothing to give you cancer, nothing to give you a heart attack. He said, all this stuff is natural, man. This is what we put into medicine. This one's for your heart. This is for diabetes, for cholesterol. This is for your emotions. This is for your skin. He said, this is to oxidize and purify your blood, dude. This is big. And this is for the estrogen, or this is for your testosterone. He said, dude, this is good. You just keep drinking, and I might drink it someday. I told him you need to drink it, which he never did. So time went on, and I just started putting my help on it, anybody I could talk to. And anybody that got on this stuff did a big turnaround. I've got a man that's 79 years old. He was the head engineer for Berry Construction in Corpus, which was the biggest construction company in South Texas. His name is Howard Kovar. He came to me after I've been telling people him to drink it and everything. He said, my carotid artery is 66% blocked. He said, you said this is going to take it out, right? And I said, yes, sir, it will. And he said, I read up on the company. I read on the success stories. He said, I went to my doctor yesterday. I will drink it for 1 year, and I'll let you know. And I said, well, that's a good testimony. Well, in 1 year, he called me, and one day after, he said, my doctor said I'm at 0 blockage. He said, the doctor cannot believe it. Of course, they never tell the doctor what they're on, and that's fine. He said, my doctor even said, like Anthony told you, my blood is moving at a high rate of speed. When you oxidize and purify your blood, it cleans. Once your blood turns red, anybody you talk to, doctor, and you go to blood bank, everybody's blood is maroon black, it's purple, it's gray black, it's black. The darker it gets, it's like Anthony, it's barely moving in you. And he said, you're 79 years old, Howard. Your blood is moving faster than a 25-year-old man. His blood never moves that fast in old people like us. He told Howard, he said, hell, you might live to be 100. So Howard is, he's going to keep drinking. I think he will make 100. Now, I have a blood doctor. That's where I found my red blood. I had my blood checked by her, and, she runs a UV light through you, which ain't nothing, and that's where I saw the red blood. But my blood expert doctor, she's been doing this 33 years, and her dad's a blood expert, and her husband, they're all doctors. When she saw my blood, she said, oh, my God, you got baby's blood. I didn't know my blood was that color, but my pharmacist and Anthony said it oxidizes and purifies your blood. Till you see your blood, you don't know this. And when I saw it, we took pictures of it, and she said, nobody has this color blood. Nobody except a baby when it's born. She said, babies, when they come, they're pure. She goes, no wonder you have so much energy. You got so much everything. I had to take an IV from her for something else, and I went through the bottle in 55 minutes where it usually takes 2 hours. And she couldn't understand how I went so fast. She told me I probably gave you the wrong needle, a bigger needle, but you dripped too fast. Well, when she saw my blood and that, she goes, your veins are wide open, Cecil. You have no blockage. Well, I do have arthritis, and that's the other thing wrong with me. This last Thanksgiving, I had pain in the middle of my stomach, and the arthritis would lock up on me, and I didn't know what it was. But the pain kept getting worse and worse, and I went to the Methodist Hospital here in Dallas, close to my house. And he told me that I have gallstones. What I described to him, the pain and what it's been going on for about 6 weeks, and now it's getting worse. He said, that's probably what you got. He had to do a CAT scan. When he came back, he said, my God, all your organs are perfect. I said, what do you mean perfect? Ain't nothing wrong with you. I said, there's nothing wrong with me. Oh, there's something wrong. He said, no, you got arthritis. I said, oh, yeah, okay. He said, but there's something on this CAT scan I've never seen before. And I went, oh, no, what I got? He said, it says veins incredibly clear. Nobody, I've never read that on a CAT scan before. And I said, oh, yeah, well, I showed him my red blood, and I had to go through the spiel with a doctor. I'm not scared of a doctor. I ain't scared of nobody. I've proven 5 wrong, and I'm not even trying to. Like Anthony said, everything's in the blood. When you tell doctors what you're doing, and I can beat what you just told me with drinking this juice, they don't believe you. But when they get the blood work, there's no question. I have other things wrong. You know, my prostate got big, and I was only taking 2 ounces a week. A day. I was on 1 ounce for 11 years, and I went to 2 ounces for 4.5 years. And after my prostate got over 4, it went to 4.7. Anything over 4, you got to go to urologist. But I had talked to Anthony. He said, well, after I get the results, and if I go over 4, I'm going to drink 3 ounces for 2 weeks, 4 ounces 2 weeks, 5 ounces 2 weeks. I'll do it 3.5 months. Then I'll go back to prove them wrong, which I did. My PSA was 3.6, and within 6 months, I went to 4.7. Both my brothers had prostate cancer. My daddy had colon cancer, and then he got cancer in the liver, which what killed him later. Hook cell got him. Anyway, I told the urologist, you know, he said, you're 4.7. I'm going to have to go in there in 10 days. You come back, and I'm going to take 19 specimens from your PSA, and then I got to put it in the lab to see if you have cancer. Well, the last story I told, I hadn't done that yet, but I did it. I told the doctor I'm going to drink 3 ounces 2 weeks, 4 ounces, 5 ounces for, around 3 months and a week or so. The prostate will fall under 4. My testosterone was 472. It's going to go through the roof, doc. He laughed at me and he said, yes, I don't understand your juice. You're talking these herbs, but no, you could drink a half a gallon a day and won't go down. I said, if I drink a half a gallon a day, I'll be at 0, which ain't no lie. I bet it would be. Well, after 3.5 weeks that I went back to him and got I fell to 3.2. My testosterone went from 472 to 734, and he could not believe it. He has when you prove a doctor wrong, they got nowhere to go. He couldn't disprove it, but I told him more about the bottle, and well, that's that. But my nephew, he works for Stryker. And I don't care who I know or who I don't know. I push this product on them time, and they're tired of him, which I don't care. If you get your health back, there's nothing better. Like Anthony said, he saved my life because at 43 years old, I told my ex-wife, what am I going to be like at 60? I can't barely get around at 43. What I'm going to do at 60, 65 if I make it that long? And I told her, I don't know if I'll make it that long. I'm just, when your health's bad and you can't do nothing, that's, you don't want to be around much longer. 10 years of the pain I went through, I still go through minor pain, but it ain't nothing like it did. This juice helps my pain, helps my arthritis. Shoot, I'm in perfect health. The blood doctor that I go to said, you're my number 1 patient. Nobody's like you except the people that drink the juice. And my nephew, he's, everybody, testosterone, okay? Like, first time I got a check, I was 55, but been drinking 1 ounce a day. Okay, for 11 years. When I first got my testosterone checked at 55, the doctor is Jim Hussey. He's at Richardson in Dallas. He said, man, your testosterone 350-something. He said, man, that's high for a 55-year-old man. I said, dude, that ain't bad. Well, after I went to 2 ounces the next year, went in there, I'm at 472. And then if you go to 3 ounces, you're going to be even higher. My nephew works for Stryker, which is the number 1 joint replacement. He has testosterone problems. He took pills, he took shots, he did everything. I finally convinced him when he saw my blood. When he saw a picture of my blood, because he's in the operating room, he said, dude, that's all I got to see is your blood, and I know this works. So what did he do? He got on it. He's been on it, I think, 1.5 years or 2, and now his testosterone's over 500. Of course, he's only 39 years old, right at. But if you have a testosterone problem, it will go up, and even testosterone makes your whole body young. If you keep your testosterone on, you will stay younger. Now, Tommy Rodriguez, which is not my last patient, but he was 4 weeks ago. His wife has diabetes real bad. She comes home, puts her feet up, her feet are all swollen, everything. Her kidney has dropped down to 40%. I've been preaching to him for 12 years. He spends $800 to $900 a month on medicine for his wife, and I said, they hadn't fixed her yet. Wouldn't you like to get a bottle and spend $60 a month? And then later you're going to have to go to 2 ounces because she's sick. Now you're at 120. I'm going to save you $750. Well, it's hard to believe. Well, 4 weeks ago, he got a bottle from my nephew. He's going to try it. He called me. He said, hey, man, I got a bottle, and, she's bad. Eventually she's going to have to get a kidney. And I said, well, just give her. I said, how long do we got to go till we see the doctor? He said, 2 weeks. 2 weeks? I said, damn, give me a month. He said, well, we're going in 2 weeks as a checkup. I said, all right, give her 2 ounces a day for 2 weeks and let me know. Well, 2 weeks on a Thursday, he called me. He said, dude, oh, my goodness. He went to the doctor. Her name's Marie. And the doctor, after he got her blood work, said, you stay. It takes about 20, 30 minutes to get the results on your blood. Well, he walked in there and said, what are you doing? And she's kind of timid. And she scared her. She said, I ain't doing nothing. She said, you're doing something. What are you doing? She wouldn't tell him. Said your kidneys were at 30%. In 2 weeks, we took her to 108. Now, I didn't know it'd go to 10. I don't know what the high end. I thought 100 was it. He said your sugar diabetes count had been cut in half. So I think she was around 300, and we got her down to 150. So she ordered a case. He talked to Anthony. Her sisters, 3 sisters, mother, all diabetics. They're all on it. And Tommy says she's like me. She won't shut up no more. That's all she talks about. Well, when you get your life saved, and somebody saves your life like Anthony has done many people, I'm indebted to him. I mean, I can go on with stories all day long. I cannot tell you how many people I got on. If they stay on it, that's all you have to do. Your heart will come back, your kidneys, your liver. It's just like he said, everything's in the blood. The Baptists have a song, Power in the Blood. I'm a Baptist, okay? That's all they talk about. Well, when you oxidize, purify that blood. Oh, Jim Cave went with me to the blood doctor. He drank this, I told you, a year and a half with me. He got off for 10 years, and I've been begging him for 10 years, get back on. It works. He said, I know it works. I'm just tired of drinking it. Yeah, I'm tired of drinking it, too, for 18 years, and Anthony's been drinking it for 72 years, and Esther's been drinking it for 30 years. Yeah, well, I think we're tired of it, but it works. So when he got up to take his blood, the doctor said his blood will be black by what's wrong with Jim. You have to just fill out your name and number and what's wrong with you. So I said, it's going to be black. I've heard of black blood. I've never seen it. Well, when he gave his blood, it was jet black. And she's like, this is what happens. Your body's like a car. You don't change the filter. This is what it's going to do. It's like Anthony said, barely going to move. Then your liver, kidneys, trying to filter this stuff. And it's putting, pressure, and it's working on your liver. It's overworking your liver and kidneys. So when she saw my blood, the question for us was, how long is it going to take? She said, Jimmy, you going to get back on the juice? He said, I'm going to get it. He got some in the truck. I'll be drinking it going home. Yes, I'm going to get back on it. So her question was to us, she's the blood expert, how long is it going to take to change his blood from black to red? Which I said, hell, I've been on this for 11 years. She said, well, let's guess. I said, 1.5 to 2. Jim said 1.5 to 2. And the doctor said it'd probably take 2 years to 2.5. Are we going to keep coming back there? Yes, we're going to keep coming back. We went back in 5 months, and his blood was almost as red as mine. It took 5 months. The doctor flipped out again. Now she's drinking the juice, okay? I can tell you stories all day long. You keep working on your friends, your family. I push this thing all day. I'm worse than I've ever been because I see the results. We got one guy, the old folks home, said he never, 2 guys I got out of the old folks home. They said they never get out. I walked one out in 7 months. Esther walked one out in 2.5 months. One was 54 years old. The other one was 50. Now, Anthony's got all the pictures of Robert. He is something else. He was a dead man. Couldn't talk, been in a wheelchair for 3 years, couldn't talk for 2 years. Within 14 days of taking the juice, he started talking and got out of the bed. A month and a week later, he was home driving a car. Now, Anthony's got everything you want on this guy. That's the one you need to look at. Okay, Anthony, I think I'm done.
Well, you just got started.
I know. I could blow another hour.
I see your pal Kenny's on. Maybe he can give us a little.
He might be a little bashful. You know how the Aggies are.
He's bashful.
He just wants to listen. He might talk next time, but he can tell whatever he wants.
Well, his line is open, so you can talk to him.
Hey, you want to talk or you want to wait?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You want to say
anything? We
we
want to hear you.
Yeah, they're tired of
me. No,
I've
been on. I've been on it for I guess almost 2 years. and it's done a lot for me. I'm 40. It's done a lot for me as far as energy. Anytime I go to the doctor to run labs, they say your blood's perfect. All my results are fantastic. Like Cecil said, testosterone went up, cholesterol went down. And I'm on an ounce a day, so I'm not. I mean, I just imagine if I did a 2 or 3, what that would do. But for right now, an ounce a day is good enough for me, and it's definitely something that is life changing. And like Cecil said, it's hard to convince somebody, especially a doctor. But when you get the bottle in front of somebody and they start taking it for the first month, and it's fun to see the results.
Well, you, Kenny, of course, are 40, so you have a really young body, and an ounce a day is going to be probably plenty for 40-year-old people who don't have any major health issues, and that's great. I mean, now you just take it to maintain yourself. It's the ones that are 60 and around there that have a half a dozen health issues with 10 different medications that are in really bad shape. That takes a little bit of doing, and sometimes 2 ounces and sometimes even 3 or 4 ounces. But I'm glad to hear that you're maintaining it and continuing. That's good to know.
He's my smartest nephew.
Yeah, you have a lot that don't believe it yet.
He was my mother's favorite.
Look, you talked about Esther, who introduced it to you. She has saved a whole bunch of lives as well, and she's in her late 60s. And as you said,
yeah, she's 70.
She's 70 now.
She turned 70 last week.
She looks like a young woman. I mean,
oh my God, yeah.
A couple of years ago, I think she said she painted her house all by herself in the blazing hot sun up on the ladder.
South Texas. Let me tell them real quick. Okay, in South Texas, in the end of July, 98 degrees, humidity about 80%. She's 68 at the time. She sanded the outside of the house. It's a 1,800 square foot house, and put 3 coats of paint by herself. I'd like to see a
40-year-old
man. 40. She's amazing. I do kid her. I mean, she looks good. She is unbelievable. She dates some guys. You know, she's not married. She's around 70, and the guys she dates are 71 and 33, and they'll have all these health problems, and she tries to get them on the juice, and they won't do it. And so I told Esther, I said, you carry a bottle of oxygen for them guys, they're going to need it.
Yeah, well, that's it.
They can't hang with it.
And everybody who's drinking it like you and her over the years are in the same boat. Healthy, don't go to doctors anymore, don't get colds anymore, energetic, and so on. And we've seen...
Well, I go see doctors just to give them hell.
Yeah, right.
I get in shouting matches with them.
Well,
that's my entertainment.
Maybe you'll have to get them to somehow start passing the tonic around.
Well, I got one doctor I'm working on, Brian Mitchell. He's a buddy of mine. I graduated with him. He's 60 years old, too. And his testosterone, this was about 7 months ago, his testosterone was 79, and you can tell he's taking 4 or 5 medications, and I've been pounding on him for 8 or 9 years to drink it. He finally did. Oh, my God. His doctor is Dr. Ken Tompkins in Corpus, which was my doctor when I lived in Corpus, and he didn't believe about the juice, okay, because I told him, but I didn't have all the records and everything that I do now. So I got Brian on it. His high blood pressure has been for 28 years, and he drank about for a month and he goes every quarter to see the doctor because he's got some problems. And anyway, he says, I went in there after a month and a half, and my blood pressure is perfect. And the doctor said, well, check it again. They checked him again. It's still perfect. So he told Dr. Tompkins he's drinking the juice that I am, and he didn't want to hear it, but he had to go back the next 3 months, and all his levels are coming down. They came down so fast that we had to take you off all medication. And I'm going to keep you 2 months off the medications, Brian. And if this works, I want to talk to Cecil. He said, I'll be a doctor that doesn't believe in all this medicine. If this works, I'll get some patients on it. So I plan to see him next time I'm in Corpus.
Oh, my good Lordy.
So I've been working 18 years on a doctor, and I finally found one.
It's a good thing you're drinking the JC. you would have
kidding.
croaked.
Those guys they're hard to crack.
Well, Cecil, I know you can go on and on and on because I've heard many of the stories and talked to many of the people that you've saved their lives. So, folks, this is just a really great story for you to share with everybody because it covers so much ground. It covers a span of 20 years. It covers all kinds of health issues. It, in particular, covers how important getting your blood clean is the key. And, little by little, get people to listen to this, and maybe they can take pictures of their blood next time and then get on the tonic and take a picture the next time they get a blood workup and see the difference. Cecil goes around with these photos of his blood before and after on his phone that he shows everybody. And he shows everybody the testosterone level change. Those numbers are important. A lot of people understand it when you show them the numbers. So have them listen to this. Make yourself some notes. Have this call on your phone so when somebody says, oh, yeah, well, you could let them listen to Cecil because that's what he said, too, to Esther. Oh, yeah, really? No kidding. Come on, don't tell me all that crock. Well, I've lived through that, and it's still, I talked to 10 people, and 8 of them think I'm a nut. But that's okay. You just carry on, and if you get 2 out of 10, and we're all doing it, we'll soon have a few billion, So, folks, this has been a great call. Cecil, I really appreciate that you came on and you told it in like a timeline. It really fit, and it's really good and easy for people to understand. And folks, come back next week. We're going to have another rip-roaring call. And this one, of course, will be emailed out next week. Make sure you share it and make sure that you make the decision to come and share your story. By the way, we have an offer, a free bottle for anybody who comes to share their story. I guess with a story like Cecil's, I'm going to have to give him 50 bottles. Holy cow.
Yeah, give me 1.5. Give me a used bottle.
Okay, I'll drink a half.
It's still good no matter how long it sits.
Okay. So there we are, folks. 1.5. You want 1.5 bottles? Come and do a story like Cecil. But do your story no matter how small it is, how short it is, how if it's only one of your health issues. Every time a person listens to these stories, it gives them the courage to try themselves because they, too, only have heard what the doctors have told them. And nothing has happened, and they're being kept alive, but they're not very happy, not comfortable, and have a very poor quality of life. So let's change all that. We have a lot of great slogans in this company. One of them is pay it forward. The best one is, why don't you go out and save a life? Okay? So thanks a lot. Cecil, Kenny, thank you very much.
All righty. Thank you, sir.
And good night, all. And don't forget, take an ounce and feel the bounce. All right.
Amen.
Good night.